David, when I share with people that you can't BS your way and you have to be who you, because let's face it, one of the terms that is a little woo-woo is, be your true self. That doesn't always fall and resonate, but I say to be a great communicator, you have to be who you really are and be honest and cut out the BS and cut out the fitting in. Did you see a lot of that BS and people trying to fit in your corporate career?
I did, and I continue to see it just in life where people act a certain way as to who they are throughout the day in the workplace. But then when they're on stage, per se, in a meeting or with their boss, they say things that look and seem very unnatural to who they are through observation every day. And they're viewed as delivering BS. But the person who's delivering the BS thinks they're actually doing the right thing of saying, I'm telling them what they want to hear, when they're saying that doesn't reconcile the person I see every day just through observation.
Well, I love that you use the term when they feel they're on stage. That's a great way to frame it too, because we go through our days, at work and in our businesses and think there's certain moments I have to be on, I have to be a certain way. We've all been there. I'm sure you felt that, right? And it's not just as easy as turning us on it. Some people are pretty good at toggling back and forth with the persona, but you're more often going to run into danger when you do that, especially if you're spewing a lot of BS and not being who you really are, because I think where you were going was the right people who are good, they pick up on that.
They do. They pick up on it, but here's the blind spot for the person delivering the BS on the BS meter, is they actually think that what they're doing is working well. And they have no idea that people have picked up on it and are discounting their credibility for doing it.
Wait, okay, so let's talk about this for a second. This might be you at some point in your career, if not a lot. So, and this isn't personal, by the way. This is business, and we're trying to provide value and help. Is that might be why people are stuck.
Yes,
if
it's
you're
absolutely
not
true.
Right, to David's point, if you're not moving along and progressing, and your career is not accelerating, or perhaps your business isn't growing at the rate that you want, maybe, and you think you're doing all the right things, and you're a great presenter or communicator, but maybe people are picking up on that BS radar or inauthentic radar.
Yes, I'm hearing what the boss or someone else is saying. This person's just telling me what I want to hear. They're not telling me what I know and how they normally think and what they do throughout the day. So you lose a lot of credibility.
Okay, so let's go in this direction now. What can we share and give people in terms of value and help and guidance on get out of that space? Be who you really are and want to be. I know a couple things I'll rattle up. Let's start with you. What's one thing you would say or advise people? And you probably do this in some of your work as a business coach. What do you tell people to be more authentic?
Don't focus and front run the question with what you think the answer is supposed to be. Just answer the question as you believe it.
So does that mean, does that come out in terms of language too? Like people
Yes.
talking not really all that sophisticated or articulate and just say what's on your mind? Is that part of what you're saying?
Absolutely. Just say what's on your mind. People are listening to that and people saying, yeah, that sounds like him, that sounds like her, that makes a lot of sense. Because there's the validation on the back end to what we were saying.
And to David's point, think in today's world, right? Because it's changed a little bit. Social media, these kind of platforms, we have a window into seeing people in so many different situations, not just really, really formal work situations. Think about some of the people that you're drawn to. So I'm going to piggyback on what David just said. Who are people that you follow, that you're interested in, that you're drawn to, and that you follow on social media, online, etc.? You probably see them be much more like David just described than faking or acting something out. You think?
Absolutely.
I think so too.
And I'll tell you the danger that I've seen. The danger that I have seen is the people who are saying things that they think people want to hear or are working on focus on delivering it that way. They go through life, I've seen this, they go through life thinking they've delivered and satisfied everybody, and they have no idea about all the conversations that are taking place away from them where they're being criticized for it.
You mean like behind the scenes?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And there's another way to have your career stall out.
Absolutely. It's a stigma you can't shake.
All right.
So you have to reconcile it.
Yes. So, all right. So on that note then, self-awareness.
Yes.
Let's talk about that for a second. Then, how does somebody become more self-aware? Well, you know what? I'll throw this out there. One thing to do to ease that is to just do what David shared earlier, is share what's on your mind. If you know you're doing that consistently, first of all, I think people like consistency in others, don't you?
They love consistency.
Yeah, they know, hey, I may not always agree with what Scott says, which is probably true for a lot of people, but he's consistent. He says what's on his mind, he does it in a way that is comfortable for him. I think people like that.
That's the only way they know how to trust somebody.
Trust.
Trusting somebody is knowing that you're consistent, right? Not agreeing with someone doesn't take away trust. Knowing someone's consistent delivers a lot of trust.
I love that. Okay, my wheels are spinning right now, which isn't always great for video. So think of the word David just said. I think you just gave them the key to, so self-awareness, yes, but you want to build trust. If you think your career is stalling out and your communication is inhibiting it in any way, you got to think about, like, what can I do to build more trust with people? Because when people trust you, they're going to gravitate to you.
That's exactly right.
Okay, all right, so what's a call to action we can lead people with? I know we jumped around to a few different nuances of this topic of being true and honest with yourself, but what's something that we can lead people with to think about, okay, going forward or in the coming days or in the next week, this is something I'm going to do. Maybe, help me out, David, maybe we can tag team this. Is there something people can do that they can almost do like a test? Not a manipulative test, but they can try and communicate in a way in the next few days at work or in their business that's not going to harm anything, but might help them get some more clarity around, this is a better way for me to communicate.
Absolutely. So I think that I like the word test, because what we're asking people to do is something that may be a little bit uncomfortable. It may tie to lack of confidence, right, in your own point of view and truly sharing it. So I'll use a scenario, which is you're participating, you're being asked a question, you're on stage, and you say, I don't know if you'll agree with this, but from my point of view, X.
Okay.
What you're doing is you're setting it up where you're not enforcing a point of view onto somebody. You're saying, this is from my perspective, this is what I think, what do you think?
And is that just softening the landing?
It's softening the landing for yourself. It's also inviting feedback, because if you get positive feedback when you set it up that way, then you're getting positive reinforcement to keep doing it, because that feedback is telling you what was good.
I like it. All right.
So you get over that confidence hump very quickly.
That's a good one right there. Okay, so be honest, be truthful, be real, say what's on your mind, and of course in an appropriate and professional way as often as you can. And stop living in this fantasy land. If this is you, really look at, do an inventory or an analysis of why your career is stalling out. Be honest, look within, because maybe this is one of the reasons. Maybe you're living in this alternative universe that says, I'm sharing all these great things, but nothing's happening. People might not be receiving it well.
There you go.
All right, thanks, David.
You're welcome.